Argentine astrophotographer. A stunning image of the sun's surface has been revealed near the northern tip of the star. The eruption of hot energy in that location creates a plasma waterfall, or plume of electrically charged gas that shoots about 100,000 kilometers into space, before falling back down into an extremely beautiful curtain of fire. Mr. Eduardo Cheberger Popeyo, who captured the image on March 9th, said he called the phenomenon seen as a plasma waterfall. This is because the electrically charged gases on the surface of the sun rise and fall back in streams. In fact, they are no different from waterfalls found in natural tourist attractions around the world. This rare astronomical phenomenon is called polar crown prominence, or the eruption of plasma at the top of the sun's north and south poles. The height of the plasma waterfall is almost 100,000 kilometers. It is as big as 8 worlds stacked on top of each other. A plume of electrically charged gas or plasma erupts at this location. It does not form an arc like it does on the rest of the sun's surface, but the magnetic field is especially powerful near the star's poles, will cause the plasma stream to fall back down rapidly at 36,000 kilometers per hour, NASA has said. In comparison, the phenomenon of polar crown prominence is similar to aurora or the northern and southern lights. That happens in the world because it is an explosion of bright energy from the sun in the latitude area of 60-70 degrees. This plasma cascade will occur. It is one of the events that indicate that the sun is approaching its most energetically active phase in the 11-year solar cycle. It is currently in its 25th cycle. Over the past few months, there have been several solar flares, including the release of enormous amounts of energy from corona holes. That is directed towards the world as well. This causes scientists to keep a special eye on the sun's energy phenomena during this period, because it could cause economic damage to telecommunications and energy distribution systems on Earth. In the past, there was the Carrington event on September 2, 1859, or 163 years ago. Richard Carrington, an English scientist, was using a telescope to observe dark spots on the sun from the city of Red Hill on the outskirts of London at around 11:18 a.m. He saw a bright white light erupt on the sun's outer surface for 5 minutes before many strange phenomena followed on Earth. On that day, the northern and southern lights shone brightly like never before in many regions around the world. Even in equatorial regions such as Cuba, Jamaica, and Panama, which have never had an aurora phenomenon before. It also brightened up the Americas, which was still a dark night. It was like the morning of a cloudy day. Local newspapers of the state of Missouri in the United States even reported that people can read with natural light, even though it was late at night, around 1 a.m. on a new day. Gold miners in the Rocky Mountains even get up and make coffee and breakfast, because they misunderstood that the sun was already shining in the early morning. Carrington incident that happened that day. It is considered the most violent eruption of energy from the sun. As ever recorded in world history, the solar storm has reached the level of intensity. Solar flare, or the sun's most destructive power ever. This event is also considered to be the first solar flare in the world that was observed and recorded. The high-energy charged particles that hit Earth during the Carrington event, in addition to causing the northern and southern lights to be powerful and intense, it's like the sky is red and fiery. It also caused widespread electrical interference in telegraph systems in Europe and America. People saw sparks flying from telegraph poles and wires. From Paris to Boston in the United States, many people feel that the atmosphere around them is filled with electricity. And some people actually felt that they had been electrocuted. The reason that caused the Carrington incident was, this is due to the solar flare phenomenon, in which the sun releases a sudden and intense burst of hot plasma and dangerous radiation. The latter has accumulated magnetic energy in the dark spot area to its maximum extent. By the research of Dr. Hugh Hudson, a physicist from the University of Glasgow in the United Kingdom. Given that solar flares often involve coronal mass ejections from the Sun's outer atmosphere at speeds of thousands of kilometers per second. Dr. Hudson's study, published in the journal Annual Review of Astronomy and Astrophysics in 2021, estimated that the energy released by the Sun during the Carrington event was as high as 4 equivalent to 10 billion 1 megaton nuclear bombs. The cause of this sudden violent outburst of energy, it also causes geomagnetic storms. The Earth's magnetic field that protects the Earth is disturbed by the solar wind, or the high-energy particles that blow out from the Sun. This causes such high-energy particles to collide and interact with molecules in the Earth's atmosphere, until the aurora phenomenon and electromagnetic disturbances occurred on the Earth. In the middle of the 19th century, during the Carrington incident, the world still does not use and rely on electric energy systems, including enormous electronic equipment and telecommunication systems like today's. It makes one wonder if a violent incident of this level could happen again. How much serious damage will there really be around the world? British insurance company Lloyd's has estimated that a solar storm on par with the Carrington event, it can cause power outages in many regions around the world for years. This is because many high-voltage converters will be destroyed at the same time. They cannot be easily repaired or replaced. This could cost the North American energy industry as much as $2.6 trillion. But even so, astrophysicists like Dr. Hudson, on the other hand, expressed his opinion that in 2003, the world experienced a phenomenon known as the Halloween solar flare, has twice been similar in intensity to the Carrington incident. But the damage occurred only in a limited area. Dr. Hudson concluded by saying, "Scientists are currently unable to predict exactly when a Carrington-level solar storm will return. There are studies that predict that superflare-level energy eruptions will occur. It can occur every 3,000, 6,000 years according to the star's cycle. But it is also influenced by many other factors that make it unpredictable. Therefore, we should not be concerned that it will pose a serious threat to humanity." And more recently, NASA's Solar Dynamics Observing Satellite, SDO, it was able to capture the huge release of energy from the Sun in the form of solar flares or solar flares since October 2017. This is the first time the Sun has released such high levels of energy. This may be a sign that the Sun is starting to wake up and is entering a new solar cycle, which is its 25th cycle. There will also be increased electromagnetic activity in the next few years. Solar flares are bursts of radiation that originate from sunspots, which are temporary and lower in temperature than the surrounding surface. But it is considered an area with a surprisingly powerful magnetic field. Scientists classify the intensity of solar flares into 3 levels, from least to highest, C, M, and this is rated M, which is considered moderately powerful. The energy burst also occurred on a side where the radiation would not be directed towards Earth. This prevents related phenomena from occurring on Earth, such as the northern lights or aurora. It also does not cause damage to telecommunication systems and various electronic devices. However, this may be a sign that the Sun has transitioned into a new solar cycle, which has converged every 11 years and should have moved out of the 24th cycle and entered the solar minimum condition, which is the beginning of the 25th cycle. In this condition, the Sun has minimal or no dark spots and has the lowest electromagnetic movement before gradually increasing energy bursts at a later time, until reaching the highest point or solar maximum and gradually returning to the lowest point again. Scientists still don't know. Why do these energy dynamics of the Sun or solar cycle occur? It is only known that changes in the Sun's magnetic field occur from alternating north-south magnetic poles. That happens every 11 years is related to this dynamic. If you like space stories, you are our friend. Click follow and press the bell so you don't miss any action.